Hello. Welcome. Welcome to Behind the Song. Yeah, it's my first time doing anything like this. Feel like it's going to be neat. I feel like hopefully you get something from it. If not, I love talking about this stuff, so it's just completely self-centered. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start. We can just kind of go through the song chronologically. First thing I cut was this guitar line. This was like back in May, I think, of 2020. I cut this guitar line and started thinking about the song as an actual thing. I cut this guitar line, so it's the one in the guitar line in the song. Nice. So this is what it sounds like. And then the main thing, just dry. That guitar line sounds like this. So super boring, very stark, just through like a Helix LT foot pedal. And then the main thing that kind of gives it that character is just Echo Boy, which is like my favorite delay. Shout out to Sound Toys. It's like super low DSP and super low CPU. Wow, I can't even talk. Super low CPU, and it's just like, yeah, it's just going on 8th notes. And then there's a reverb on there, EQ, more EQ, and then something just kind of dialing in that top end a little bit. So that was the main thing, and that kind of set the pace for the song with those little dotted 8th note, that dotted 8th note pattern. And then the intro of the song is just that guitar line printed, actually. And I'll play that. So it just sounds like this. Put it through like this old-timey phone thing. Yep. And we got that big themed light switch, which we'll dive into in a second. So I got a main guitar, which I printed out. I do this a lot just to kind of put effects on a secondary channel rather than like loading up the main thing. So I printed it out and then put RC20 on it because I'm unoriginal. And then just kind of scooped it, made it sound like it was in a phone. And actually I added some like little dropouts and stuff, so it sounds like it's an old like tape machine. And then it's just, yeah, little EQ there. And then this is a Roland tape echo, or Roland space echo, sorry. In parallel on top of that. And this thing's really cool. As you like crank up the intensity on this thing, it gets all like glitchy and freaks out because it's like a tape loop feeding back. And then it just all goes silent there. I cannot speak today. This is fire. Good day to do this. That all just creates some tension before that like silence thing, and then I got this wail guitar going on. Same thing, going through like RC20 twice just because that's dramatic. And then what else we got going on? Roland swirl. This is cool actually. So this is like it's like this intense feedback thing. I think it was actually like an outtake from one of these Roland space echo things, but when you leave it on and then the intensity is just on, it just creates these like weird textures. So this by itself, let me just turn this off. This by itself just sounds like this. But I really liked it because it just sounded like almost like a dial tone, but I pitched it, or not pitched it up, sorry. I gained it into that swell, so you get this like tension. So that whole thing together sounds like, hear that phone thing coming in. Lots of tension, just some like unique tones to start the song, so it felt a little bit different. And that's all just creating tension. Something I like learned a while back, predominantly doing dance music actually, was just like you can't have anything loud if you don't have anything quiet right before it. That's the Roland thing, the feedback. So if we go anywhere else in the song, it's not there, but it's like still on and feeding back, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this whole concept of putting silence right before the most impactful thing, which is this light switch ultimately. So we got a ton of tension and silence. And then it creates a lot of space for that light switch. So that light switch is actually, I mean, you can't see it now because it's super dark in here, but there's a light switch back on that wall that I actually just sampled 4 times just with my iPhone. Like I just used like the bogus recording quality of that. Let me turn off all this stuff. So we got 1, few takes of that, and then I layered it with a sample that I found on Splice. Shout out to Splice. And then all those together dry sound like this. And then all those together with all the effects on sound like that. So we got a little theme going on. Damn, edge forma. Not good. Young love thought it wasn't a phase. We were so broke, working minimum wage, you know you. And then my vocals. I'm just gonna do the rest of this thing as like ASMR. So this is like a pretty vocal driven song, so I didn't want anything like too competitive with the vocal, little singer-songwriter thing in the front end, and I want it to be pretty like lyrically dominant. So it's pretty much just the top line and that guitar going right now. There's like a little vinyl loop as texture, just with a Haas effect on it, which basically splits things. If you don't know what a Haas effect is like actually cool little audio concept. It's like if you have one sound source coming at you from the center and you want to split that sound source into two, if you just double it and put one in the left and right speaker, it'll just make it incrementally louder if you just split it. But if you delay one side slightly, then I can't remember what the exact term is, but if you delay one side slightly, in this case we're delaying it 12 milliseconds, we're delaying the right channel 12 milliseconds, then the arrival time is different, so it sounds like it's actually two sources. So you kind of like fudge that thing. So I'm just doing that on the vinyl loop just to make it sound like a bit wider. I'll turn that up and I'll show you exactly what's going on. So without it, and if you're listening on headphones you hear this, but without it, right down the center. With it, it's in stereo. Kind of nifty. But I use that a lot. I use that. That's a pretty cool concept. So yeah, then we got the main vocal going. Young love thought it wasn't. Oh, that vinyl is now cranked. Hilarious. Young love thought it wasn't a phase. Yeah, there we go. So now we got the main vocal going. Young love thought it wasn't a phase. And there's so many words in the song. I had to do it in like multiple takes. So you'll just see like all these little edits. I mean, everybody comps their vocals, but this is a tough song to sing because it's a lot of words. Young love thought it wasn't a phase. We were so broke. So we got the top line and then a little Max Martin thing here, a little ode to Taylor Swift. Doing these doubles on specific words. So I wanted the vocal to be pretty honest and like apparent, and for me that means just having like one vocal down the center, reasonably dry, keeping it as like personal as possible, and then these little accent words. So these are just wasn't a phase, minimum wage, kind of out of key, but it actually gives some like stereo differentiation. I can't even speak. It changes the sound in the left and right versus the center if they're a little bit off, so I don't mind doing that. So something Taylor Swift does a ton, which I really, really like, is just these little accent words. So together you get, I'll just turn it up so you can hear it. Young love thought it wasn't a phase. We were so broke, working minimum wage. So it feels a little bit larger than life, but it still feels honest. Young love thought it wasn't a phase. So they're super subtle. Broke, working minimum wage. You know your mama. So we got that. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for the verse. The verse is very simple. And then moving into the pre-chorus. Blink of an eye, it's hard when you I got some doubles coming in the pre-chorus. So the same thing on the left and right, and those are two alternate takes. They're not the same take. And then these little drums that come in, which actually is like the predominant drum loop in the song. So it's like a cymatics loop, and I use it just as like the demo for the song, and I was kind of in love with it, so I kept it in there. So this is the drum loop. And it was like a cymatics loop that I just chopped up. And it's kind of janky because I kept all these like little artifacts in there and everything. And I really, really liked how it sounded. Like it's not, normally I would cut all this crap out, make sure it's really tight and everything, but I liked how like tapey and like physically cut it sounded. And then that's the same, like the same drum sounds in the chorus, but they're just running through an RC color here. I was just a big RC guy this time. So this is just like a little vinyl preset, and then that's just an EQ. That's that rolling thing. It just jumps out at you at different points in the song. It's like as I click through, you'll hear it. So yeah, then that. It's hard when you face the truth inside and out. And then we got this little 16 perks thing going on. I love this sample. I use this so much. Just like this weird oscillating percussion thing. And those are the only two drums in the pre-chorus. So once again, super vocal forward. I wanted it to feel different for me, coming from like a producer sort of thing, I wanted to feel like, hey, here's a song that I sang, and like here's my voice.
It's hard when you face the truth inside and out.
And then a little echo on out.
Inside and out.
This is called like, I call this like force echoing. So I just like print a word from the top line into a new channel and then put the echo on 100% wet. And then that way you just get the echo signal on this guy, so I can affect it differently. Or like increase the volume or decrease it, whatever. It's just like a good way to have more control. And then I got the same Roland thing going on here. So I love this Roland space echo, and it kind of like it kind of shaped the sound of this song, honestly. Like I really I think it's like the only reason why the song sounds the way it does. It gets like this tension. So this is in parallel to the main guitar line. And all parallel means it's just a separate signal, basically. Like it's not mixed in with the original signal. It's a separate signal, completely separated. So you hear this thing echoing in the background and swelling up, and then you'll see this intensity coming up, and all that red line just signifies automation, which is just a change in a value over time. So that's just increasing it, and then it gets all like wavy and messed up. And then it just hard cuts here, as you can see the volume. And then we got that same thing going on in the pre-chorus. This same idea, this feedback loop. I want to create a theme of this like Roland space echo intensity stuff. So that way it feels like a theme. So what I try to do, like when I'm producing a song, is like I try to come up with a theme, whether it's like I'm sampling like real instruments or I'm using like all the sounds from a certain era or a certain I want to create like a sonic palette, and for this the Roland space echo was really that. And as soon as I sort of found that, I was like, okay, there's so much I can do with it, but it's almost like limiting you so that you can have more options to create. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I don't know why I'm saving, like this isn't like like I gotta export it for Spotify today. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the pre-chorus. And then we got this little vocal ad lib, which I did like 300 takes of. And then the chorus. So let's just roll through that. Let's start with the drums actually, because they're cool. So all the drums together sound like this. So once again, this is 3 kicks. One's that cymatics one, which I loved, and I actually end up using as like the main sample. Then I got a top kick. Just like shout out to Murda Beats. And then a little click on top of it. So that way you get something a little bit different. And then all the drums together outside of the kick are, which is just, this is me clapping a bunch, layered 4 times. So clapping that, like doing that at different distances so that I get a little bit more, it feels like multiple people clapping. Sorry. And then, so we got that, and then we got the snare. So this is 2 snare layers. Let me solo those together. And then we got that same hat thing going on, that same little 16 perk, and then I layered these little shakers, and then these shaker verbs there. That's all the drums. Then we got the drums going, and then we layered the main guitar line back in, and we got let's do this. Layer the main guitar line. And then what I did in the guitar line is I added this layer, which is like an echo on 8th notes. And this is once again in parallel, so it's separate from the original chain. And this just grabs like a bunch more of that stereo image. So that way the chorus feels larger than the rest of the song. So our drums together with our hats. And then we got some auxiliary guitars, which are just playing the root note of each of the bass. That whole thing. And they're just providing a little more stereo image. And then we got this guitar melody line following it. So I just played this thing. So I just played that on the guitar just to augment that, like the lights keep coming on lyric. I wanted to make that feel a little bit more special than the rest of them because obviously it's the name of the song. And then we got the 808. So 808 is super simple. Steal this sample if you can. I think this is the original name of it. I've used this in every single one of my songs forever. It's just like a good quality sine wave thing, and it just sounds incredible. Bass is really boring and easy. Here it gets complicated later on in the song, but here it's just single notes stopping on the dotted eighth. So we got that, and then our little effects, we got a big splash. I use this a lot during this time period. I don't so much anymore, but get some tension in the chorus, and then we got our vocals. So then we got our lead vocal,
Lights keep coming on.
super dry.
Lights keep coming on, baby. I know this might sound crazy when I drive by your place
This is the
lately.
whole chorus.
The lights keep coming on.
Super dry, really in your face. And I find that's like a good way to keep things personal. Is like the drier something is, the more like immediate it feels to me, generally speaking. There's always an exception to every rule, but generally speaking, it's like the more personal and like real something can sound, or like real life it can sound, it sounds like a little bit more authentic. And for this, I want it to be very personal. So I did a little Ed Sheeran thing here in the chorus too. Obviously we got some doubles with the background vocals, layering.
Know this might sound crazy when I drive by your place.
So we got the doubles, which are just
Know this might sound crazy.
the same main line on top of each other, and then we got these little falsettos too, which is the octave up. And because the vocal, like the main vocal lead, isn't in a place where like I'm screaming or anything like super intense, I needed some more energy in the chorus, so I just layered the full octave on top of it. And Ed Sheeran does this a lot. Like you listen to like what's the one, Justin Bieber, I'm completely blanking on it now. It's like Love Yourself. So he wrote that one, and if you listen to that, the chorus is like in a really boring place in his voice. Obviously it's an incredible song and it's one of my favorite songs ever, but the chorus is in a really like monochromatic place, and he layers this falsetto on top of it to give it more tension,
Baby, I know this
give it a little sparkle. And then I got more doubles on accent words,
might sound crazy.
baby and crazy,
By your place
lately,
the lights keep coming on.
that whole thing. So we got all those, and then all those stacked actually, and then we got one more harmony here too. So on the second repetition of Lights Keep Coming On, we got,
The lights keep coming on.
which just makes it feel a little bit different than the first time. Feels like we're progressing. So then all those vocals together sound like, actually let's just solo those. That's cool.
No, baby, I know this might sound crazy when I drive by.
Oh, whoops.
Crazy when I drive by your place lately. The lights keep coming on. Why the lights keep coming?
So then all that together, we got the chorus.
No, baby, I know this might sound crazy when I drive
little
by
melody
your
follow.
place lately. The lights keep coming on. Why the lights keep coming on? Oh yeah, been 6 months since I saw you, and I know we're moving on. Yeah,
And then
the lights keep coming on. Why the lights?
the light. So that was something like, I had like 5 versions of this song without the light switch. I was like, oh, cool song, like really great lyrics and like interesting chord progression, whatever. And I didn't have a theme for it yet. So this is like what I was talking about earlier with the Roland thing. The light switch and the Roland space echo really like created this color palette for me. So as soon as I realized, I was like, why don't I just sample an actual light switch? Because the tag of the song is why do the lights keep coming on? The song just like finished itself. So once again, we got these like swirling echoes going into there.
And I know we're moving on. Yeah, the lights keep
So tension,
coming on.
tension. And then here I put up like a heavy 808. So we got this big, yeah, you probably can't hear it through laptop speakers, but if you're listening on headphones, you can hear it. So big, heavy 808, and then the click. So you get some tension release.
Coming on. Why the lights keep coming on?
And then, yeah, that's it for the first chorus. Pretty straightforward, really vocal centric. And then I kind of wanted things to progress throughout the song. So then we got this coming on echo.
Why the lights keep coming on?
Which is just that one word, just echoed out. Just on a ping pong thing. Ping pong just means going left to right. And then we got, yeah, that guitar
Coming
thing.
on.
4 bars. A few vocal takes.
Yeah, the lights keep coming on. Yeah, the lights
So
keep coming on.
this is funny actually. This one's like actually I labeled it too. That's hilarious. This take was like actually pretty busted, but like it sounded really like authentic and real. And like it wasn't really in key or anything, so I thank God for Melodyne. But there was something really special for it, like a super emotional, super relevant to the song. So like, okay, I got to make it work. But I actually like flagged it and said yes, broken.
Yeah, the lights keep coming on. Yeah, the lights keep coming on.
So that works. And then we got this little tonal thing swelling up here, tension.
Yeah, the lights keep
This is, which is just like the oldest trick in the book. Big reverse reverb thing. So you basically take a signal. So like for this, it's probably like a guitar, like a sample of a guitar here. And then let's make a new channel. I'll just copy. I'll show you how to make one real quick. It's great. Copy and paste that into the guitar thing. So we got this. And then we'll grab the reverb, and then just grab a reverb, put it on 100% wet with a really long decay time. And then we'll flatten that or print it or whatever, like bounce in place, whatever your DAW does. And then flatten that, and then basically you just have that reverb as an audio signal. And then we can take that and reverse it. Then you got the swelling thing from anything. So like you can do that with anything. So I do that a lot throughout this song because I want some tension before that. And then, so that's what's going on here. It's just obviously a different note, but you get that swell, tension, release.
so close.
And then second verse we got
Lights keep coming so close.
Those same filter drums as the first pre-chorus.
So close.
I want it to pick up a little bit, but still be like very vocal centric. Like there's like 5 things going on in the verses, and like I really like that. They're obviously a lot more storytelling. There's not a lot of space, so I really wanted the vocal to make sure that it's right at the center of that.
So close, I remember the days when we went and bought a couch and we got a new place. We were sleeping on the floor.
And then here I added some.
So close, remember the days.
These are terrible, but they work. Hilarious. When you solo stuff in a song, it's like, oh, that doesn't make sense, and you like listen to it in context. You're like, okay, that's kind of neat. So then I stacked the same doubles on the accent words in the verse, and then I got
With the look on your face, then we
a little melody change here. Let's listen to this.
So close, I remember the days when we went and bought a couch and we got a new place. We were sleeping on the floor cause we both couldn't wait. You were straight out of a movie with the look on your face. Then we fast forward a year and a month, and the pain got deep and it started to cut. Tell me how to come to this when it started his love. Yeah, I knew I couldn't stay cause it wasn't enough for you.
So yeah, big things there. That little melody change in the B part, because I'm cliche, because every pop song does that, but we do that because it works.
Look on your face,
and then this little echo thing, which is a little ode to the chorus.
Look on your face,
and this little chop.
Fast forward a year and a month, and the pain got
little
deep,
claps.
And the pain.
And then I actually just physically chopped the guitar and panned it left, right.
And the pain got deep and it started to cut. Tell me how to
and then the second pre-chorus opens up a bit. So first thing we got is we got these little. So let's play it all in context. So I want it to feel like it's progressing a little bit more. So we added the claps there. We got the same claps as the chorus, and then we got also that little guitar harmony line. And then we got this little drum fill, which is pretty basic. It's just like 3 drums stacked on top of each other, panning in from the left and then the right. And then the second chorus is kind of when things like start to pick up. So we got this little drum fill. This might sound crazy when I drive by your place lately. The lights keep coming on. The lights keep coming on. Oh. So we got harmonies there. We got the auxiliary guitar stuff going on. So like the main things that we added are those aux guitars. So let's just play those on top of the original guitars so you can hear. So in comparison, we got, so this is the second chorus right now. Got a new little harmonic color palette, which that's the first. Versus the second, we got that little fifth. which is nice because then we just feels a little bit different, feels a little more uplifting maybe. And then we also got these little ad libs. So for these ad libs, I guess I was in like a big telephone phase. I don't know.
Baby, I know this might sound crazy. When I drive by your place,
Just turning them up so you can hear them.
the lights keep coming on. Yeah, the lights keep coming on.
So I got this like chorus thing going on them. Chorus. Which I've never used before. I mean, it sounds pretty cool. So this is like a kilohertz one, I think. They make some pretty fire stuff actually. So this is kilohertz, and then a bunch of CLAs, little echo, and then I wanted this to feel super spacey because what I was talking about in the first chorus is like it's very dry and like present, the main vocal, and I wanted this to feel like a little bit more airy and spaced out because I want to start exploring the stereo field. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. This is what I do all day. I just sit in my basement and just talk to myself. So now you get to watch it. So yeah, we got these ad libs.
Baby, I know this might sound crazy. When I
Kind of
drive
pick up the
by
pace a
your
little bit.
place lately,
And we added some new drums too.
the lights keep coming
What do we
on.
add?
Oh, yeah.
We got some hats running, so we picked up the second one. So now we got our new drum sound like this. So my whole goal with like a song is to kind of make it progress throughout. It's like obviously you're gonna have peaks and valleys and like bridges and first twos and whatever. But I want the song to feel like it's moving forward. Like there's new elements introduced every 4 or 8 bars. So that way you can continuously listen to it. So we got those little trap snare roll things. We got a hi-hat running on top of it now. We got some additional drum sounds. And what else we got? That's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. The last chorus is when things open up a lot more. Same melody follow thing. So let's just listen to that into the bridge, which is my favorite part of the song. Maybe I'll play all the things.
Baby, I know this might sound crazy. When I drive by your place lately, the lights keep coming on. The lights keep coming on. Oh yeah, been 6 months since I saw you, and I know we're moving. Oh yeah, the lights keep coming on. Why the lights keep coming on?
Still love that fill. All right, so this is the coolest part of the song for me.
Coming on. Why the lights keep coming on? Moving on, I thought it'd break me. Everything I lost.
Sick. Okay, so this is kind of like I had like a bunch of versions without this. I had like this whack down chorus thing that was like super low key and just kind of like expected. But I wanted something that was like, oh, why did you put that in this song? And also something that felt like a different emotion rather than like this nostalgic like old relationship thing. I wanted nice. There's that rolling thing again. It's just gonna scream at us every few minutes. I wanted something that felt like the different emotions of going through relationship crap. Like it was just, I wanted something that felt a little bit more driving, a little bit more heavy. This whole song is on that doom, doom, dun, doom, doom, dun. So I wanted something that's like 4 on the floor driving, whatever. Let's jump into that fill before I actually show you anything else. This is super cool. So this is just tag.
Why the lights keep coming on?
And then I got this on echo, which is just this.
Coming on.
So that's just once again Echo Boy. I think it's just Echo Boy Jr. Yeah, on 8ths on space delay, big space delay guy. Space echo with this fast shimmer pan thing, so it's like oscillating back and forth left and right. And then on top of that, I'm automating a decapitator, which is like a distortion unit. And then it's kind of running like this. And then I'm turning it off here. So that way you get this dynamic thing before that swell. Once again, tension release. We got that. And then layered on top of that, let's just solo that so you can hear what's going on. Layer on top of that is this phasey reverse thing, which is like, this is one of my favorite. So it's just like speeding up. This is like one of my favorite things to do. So this is it's like a play on phase cancellation. So phase cancellation is like when you wear noise canceling headphones, it takes a signal. Actually, this is a terrible example, but actually it kind of works. So when you listen to noise canceling headphones, it takes the signal that you're hearing on the outside and flips it, and then feeds the inverse signal to your ears, so you're still actually technically hearing the sample, you're just not hearing it. You're just hearing the inverse, so that frequency cancels out. It's the same idea with this auto pan thing. It's feeding both of the signals down the same channel rather than panning them left and right, and it actually cancels out part of the frequency. So if you just listen to it with this thing on it, actually, I'll show you the original sample. So the original sample sounds like this. And then I wanted to sound a little more interesting because it's a little bit EDM-y and boring. So you can hear it cutting in and out, but it gets quicker as well. So what I did is I automated the rate, which is just a change in a parameter over time. Automation, that's what this little line is. So that way it feels like it's speeding up, get a little more intense. And then I put a regular auto pan, which is just going left and right. Panning just means from one side of the speakers to the other, or headphones or whatever you're listening on. And then the same thing here, except it's panning left and right, and that's getting quicker. So it just feels super chaotic. And then I got another layer of that with this guy, this tonal thing. So this is that reverse reverb thing that we talked about. That's happening. And then we got that echo on top of it, so altogether it sounds like this. Sweet, nifty. And then I needed some, like a quiet moment before that. I didn't want to be like space because I have so much dead space in this song that I wanted it to be something. And I just I was doing a couple passive vocals and then I just like breathed and I was like, oh, kind of cool. So I actually just put a breath in a phone. I think, oh yeah, literally the phone effect in FabFilter. So I'll put a breath in a phone and then that creates some like tension before that like super heavy part. Moving on, I thought it'd break me. Everything I lost. Yeah, so then we got that guy. And this part's cool because this is like a different color palette than the rest of the song, which I really, really like. Usually like, especially in today's day and age, the bridge is like a repeat of the chorus, which this sort of is later on, but I want to do something different. Get my little producer hat on. So I layered, the main thing here is this respace, which I absolutely love. This is a serum patch that I got 4 or 5 years ago, and I love it. Let me solo that for you. And it's just side chaining. So side chaining just means ducking out of the way of something, and here it's ducking out of the way of the kick. So that layered with 808, super low end. I got some little vinyl noise going on here too. And then not really much going on here actually. It's just kind of a cool moment. And then the kick's just 4 on the floor, super straight. And then the lead vocal, yeah, the vocals I think is kind of what carry this part as per pop music in general. But so the lead vocal is doing this. And I just hammered that through probably like a UA compressor or something on the way in, so it sounds like super flattened, kind of like distressed. So this guy is going through there, and then I got this little delay on 8th notes. So let's actually just solo that because that's cool too. So got this delay on 8th notes. And then what's giving us character is this sidechain compressor. So basically like sidechaining is just ducking out of the way of something, and in this case it's the kick drum on that do do do. So I wanted the vocal to duck out of the way of that. So if you listen to that with the kick, you get it. So you got that, and then I just kind of blended that in, so I did it like 46%, and then we got those together, and then it's just a little bit boring. I wanted some big stereo image stuff, so then I stacked a bunch of those on top of each other, singing harmony lines, and then pitched some, and so I got this big bridge stack, which is actually pretty cool. So I cut up, here, let me just show you all this. So I recorded 1, 2, 3, what is that, 7 channels of it. And then just chopped them up super aggressively. I wanted to feel super synthetic. And then I put an auto tune on it, not even like tuning them actually, but just using the throat length, which just changes like, I think it changes the shape of your larynx artificially. So it makes it sound like all messed up and way down here. So now it feels way deeper. like synthetic, and then I put a bit of processing on it, EQ, de-essing, compression, and then this is cool too. Because it was cut so hard, I wanted to automate a reverb up in these little spaces. And then I got a little sample delay thing that's just pushing it further in stereo, so like delaying the left side versus the right side. And then I got an auto pan, which is going left, right, on half notes. So just creating a little bit of stereo image. That's only like 30%. And then that same sidechain, so that ducking. And then this one's doing 100% of that, so it's really, really ducking. So I'll get some more harmonic content. And then I had this like big empty gap here, which I love because I had this like come down moment. I had no idea what to do with it, so I went through my phone and I found all these like whack voice memos of just like at an airport and then some like old talking and stuff, and I just threw it in there. Dark. I mean, if you can't tell, this song's about a relationship, so super fun. Yeah, I mean, I just needed some little Easter egg in there. So yeah, then we got this like come down moment, something just like more mellow before that last chorus. I'll play you that. Baby, I know how it might sound. So yeah, we got this big down bridge, and then the main introduction element here is this piano, which is the Scarby A800 or A200. I can't remember what the model number is, but it's like the typical Scarby electric piano. So that's doing that, and then I layered this guitar line on top of it, just playing the top note. And that's just like that's a patch through that same Helix LT foot pedal, which is super fire. I highly recommend it if you play guitar. Just like super in the box. You don't need a mic, anything, which is super fire. And then I filtered the guitar thing, and put this Lex Hall on it. Small impact Hall. I was all over the small impact Hall. I don't know where that came from. So that's doing that. And then I got this little tonal thing. And that's going to the last chorus, but then there's this main ad lib too here, so then we got, let me play those three together. This is like the main color palette of it. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, other than the vocals, and these were just some like soft takes. Create some difference between like an actual tone. Super broken. And then we got the last chorus. So let me, actually, yeah, and then the only other thing going in there is the, like that little reverse tonal thing from that whale guitar. I don't know why I called it whale guitar. Kind of sounds like a whale call. And then I got this guy, little snare roll, and then this main ad lib. So actually, I did this ad lib, and then put it in some like effects. So it just sounded like, just did it like that. Put it in this like CLA thing, into a phone effect, and then into small impact hall. I'm all over the small impact hall. This is a great reverb. Would highly recommend. Yeah, super, super fire. And then I just artificially pitched it up the octave and layered it in like a way bigger reverb that sounds like, yeah, Ginormous Hall. That's a really good one too. This is fire. So those two are layered on top of each other. That's the transition into the last chorus. And then I wanted to make this feel a little bit more chaotic, so I layered a bunch of stuff, which we'll go through. I'll play it for you quick here. Baby, I know this
might sound crazy when I drive by your place lately. The lights keep coming on. The lights keep coming on. Oh yeah, been 6 months since I saw you, and I know we're moving. Oh yeah, the lights keep coming on. The lights keep coming on. The lights keep coming on.
So yeah, got lots of stuff going on there. So once again, try to keep my songs progressing. Make the last chorus super interesting. This one, we got all the standard stuff from chorus 1 and 2. And then we added a bunch of stuff. So a bunch more hats. So let me just solo these drums for you so you can see what's going on. So if we A, B, just even the drums from chorus 3 versus chorus 1, no hi-hats, really just driving in the first chorus. And then in the third chorus, we're opened up. We got some more stereo image stuff, got some higher frequency shit. And then we got the drums. And then the biggest thing, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, but the first big thing is this respace. I kept it going in that last chorus, so I wanted it to feel really like more like drony, and less bouncy, just more like a pace sort of thing. Like this was a different moment, a different color palette, a different section. I want to feel different than the rest of the song. Because we've already heard that like bouncy, like straight one bass. Now this bass is just like droning, keeping the song rolling. And then I layered all these keys on top of it. So I think this is all flattened down. So this was originally like 5 tracks or something. So these keys as well, which open the whole song right up. Because if you listen to it without it, like if you just listen, this without, and then with, get this whole big stereo thing, which I really liked. So I stacked like 4 or 5 pianos, some strings, I think a mellotron too, and then I just printed it all down because it was hauling on my CPU. So we added that, and then we got a bunch of ambient guitar stuff, which is this guy. And then we got that guitar wail thing as like a little ode to the front end of the song. A bunch more guitar layers. Like even if you just notice like progression wise, look at the size of these stacks versus the size of these stacks in the beginning. I just try to add more things to the end of every song, so that way it feels different than the front end. Guitar's doing the same thing, main line. That's happening there. And then there's a ton of ad-libs. I think I kind of went a little ham on these ad-libs, but yeah, these ad-libs are like this. This is chaotic, but kind of works. It's like super ambient and like way behind the lead vocal, but it occupies a lot of really interesting space. And then this is actually the only time at the end of the chorus we skip the fill. So if you listen here, so I wanted to keep rolling because I want to push that moment back and get a little bit more tension before we give everybody that little light switch moment. So yeah, all these aux vocals, I just kind of filled up a bunch of space. I just try to find like different reverbs and just spaces for those in general, so that way the lead vocal can sort of sit on its own and do its thing and then have new elements. The other thing that I introduced here too is this harmony line, which is actually pretty trash, I think, if I remember correctly, on its own.
Baby, I know this might sound
Terrible.
crazy when I drop by your place.
And I just distorted it and panned it left and right so it feels like a little more oscillating, but then that in conjunction with the lead.
Baby, I know this might sound crazy when I drive by your place.
Gets like a different feel. So that way we get a whole like lift in this last chorus.
Baby, I know this might
Turn
sound
that harmony up.
crazy when I drive by your place lately. The lights keep coming on.
So that way we get like a different feel there. And even if it is just like a feeling thing, that's all I wanted to create. I wanted to make this feel progressive versus the front of the song. And then this last little section,
the lights keep coming on.
and then that same theme fill. Same theme fill, same roll and swirl up at the end. The only thing I think that really changes is this guy here, which is something I've really been into doing lately. Just like this little repeat of a little section, so it feels like tension. Everything's just about tension. It's all about tension. So this baby just tell me. Me, and then that just automates up in terms of volume, and then I pan it left and right, so you get that, and then everything hard cuts at that.
All the lights keep coming on.
And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it in terms of like production and where I was at. Obviously, the writing of the song is a completely different thing. Came from a pretty real place, pretty real experiences, but it's the best way to deal with stuff, just like writing about it. And for me, it's like such an outlet, and I'm super thankful I have it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as easy to process things. So this is a super important one for me, written. But something happened a long time ago, so it's great. The other thing, I mean, if you guys are into this is like what I put on my master chain. This is not the final mix session for this song. This is like all the production stuff, and I figured that was more interesting than like mixing, which is just like nitpicking and doing really boring stuff that you can't hear through laptop speakers. But I actually mix all my stuff in Luna, which is like UA's new software. I like stem mix it all. So I bounce it all out from here, mix it in Luna, and then I send it to Randy Merrill at Sterling Sound to master it. I have mastered my own stuff. I just figure when I'm writing it and recording it and producing it and mixing it, then it's kind of like, all right, I better have somebody else just like make sure this is actually okay before I put it out. Bit tough to get unbiased towards the song at that point. So this is what I put on my master stuff just to work on. And it's pretty like when I do actually master stuff, this is like a lot of the stuff I do use. I use a few more plugins, but this sort of stuff. And then, I work with this stuff on, with the exception of the Pro L, because there's tons of latency when you're recording vocals. But I work with all this stuff on when I'm like producing, because I want to sound, I want things to feel like they're hauling when I work. I want things to feel like they actually do when they're in the record, rather than just being like, oh, no, these sound good independently. It's like I really like to hear things in context. But that's just me. Preference. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope everyone enjoyed this. I hope you like learned something, I guess. I don't know. Like I watch a ton of these things and I always find something that I'm like, oh, I never thought about it like that. So hopefully I can do that for anybody watching, and I hope anybody watches this. Also, go stream lights. That would be cool. Okay. Thank you guys for checking this out, and let me know if you want me to do more.